What's up, everybody? Adam, talk to me, Goose. Talk to me. How you doing, buddy?
Love it. Doing well, buddy. How are you?
I am fucking phenomenal, man. I'm having the time of my life. Making
You look
dope
great.
ass spreadsheets. Yeah, it's a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I'm excited. Got some UV, we're on the UV.
The
right?
UV train.
Little
What up,
special
Mello?
treat. What's going on, everybody? Glad you guys could come back. Adam, I want to kick off and just talk about our Patreon a little bit, right? A little hashtag self-promotion. Hashtag. That sheet that I linked, man, for those of the people who are in the upper tier for us, the big boy tier, the Savage tier, we got a new best ball channel that I'm excited about, really excited about. So we got this dope-ass spreadsheet that I was fucking around with last night, going over spike weeks, consistent weeks. And I'm working on a formula right now where we get a rating, Adam. We'll combine the two. I'm figuring out how I want to rate them. But it'll help you identify the guys who get the greatest composite score, right? So we got the visual where they're all highlighted. But I want to make it a little bit more in-depth and give you an easy score. I'm also going to add stuff with percentages because, guys got bye weeks. They miss time for injury. We don't want to knock them too bad for that, right? But if you come out like Derrick Henry in 4 out of the 8 weeks that you actually play, you're a top 5 guy. I think you should get some love in the percentages department for sure. Kind of like points per game. And then, just talking a little bit with the guys at Heisman. Combining it with value because I think that's exactly how I want to use this sheet. We're not going to look at last year and try to predict that this is going to be the exact same going forward. That's stupid. That's a dumb way to play Dynasty. But to look at it in the value sense where if a guy's not really consistent or not providing you those spike weeks, but he, for whatever reason, in EDP is being drafted in the 3rd round, and you can find some of those guys down there in the 7th or 8th, 9th round who are actually giving you better numbers,
Right.
it'll give you a nice idea to go like, let me dive into this tier and get a few dudes out of this one,
Right.
let
Good
me
down
get 2
tier
or 3.
targets.
Yeah, let me go
Yeah.
get 2 or 3 of these guys. So I'm pretty excited about it. For those of you out there, if you didn't know, we got our Patreon, patreon.com/South Harmon. Come check us out, man. Like I said, we got different tiers. We're adding more stuff. It seems like weekly at this point. I just got all these fucking ideas in my head. So I'm excited for it, buddy. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think as we get more into the consistency, what consistency the floor is, as well as the spike weeks, and combining those two, and then giving values to it. I think big things are coming for the best ball, Mike. I really do.
Hell yeah. All right, so we got a question right off the bat here, so we'll jump into it. It looks like a 2-parter, so I'll try to keep it quick, keep it moving. Wanted to get this in early, so man, Stefan was here early. Love it. 10-team PPR, tight end premium, start 2 quarterbacks, start 12. Scott Fishbowl scoring. Assume those are his rookie picks, 110, 21, 22, 24, and a 23 first. Just a general idea. What you would do. His notable pieces are Kyler, Lance, Watson, Hunt, Hines, Gainwell, Higgins, Waddle, Godwin, Ridley, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Kmet, Irvin, Ingram. Man, Adam, if this is a 10-team league and those are your running backs,
Not going to happen.
you're not a contender, right? Like, I think in that case, then, like, I'm kind of seeing what I can get for Kyler. Biggest piece there, easiest to move. Waddle. Godwin, as much as I dunk on the dude, I'm holding him, right? There's really no reason to move off.
You got to hold him here.
Ridley for sure.
Because those picks are all late, too,
Yeah.
Like,
They're
you
not
got the
getting
110 in this year's class. Man. Yeah, I think you're still in rebuild mode.
You might be able to get by with this roster in like a 12 or a 14-team league, like the whole kind of 0 running back build, because those receivers are pretty strong when they're healthy. Godwin, for sure. His quarterbacks are nice. But in a 10-team league, definitely not a contender. Yeah, I think I'm shopping Kyler around and just kind of seeing what I can get for him. Of course, like Hunt, Hines, Gainwell, I mean, they're whatever. If somebody will give you something for them, cool. You're not asking too much. Higgins, probably a hold. Waddle, his value's pretty high. If you want to shop him, that's cool. Godwin, Holden, Ridley, Amon-Ra, Kmet, Irv, Ingram. I don't know what the hell you get for him, like a third in a 10-team league.
Man, because this is, one in the 10-team leagues, the quarterbacks aren't really as much of a big deal because they're not as scarce, right? So if you can move Kyler for a haul, especially in 10 team, that's the play I think you have here. The other thing I noticed, Mike, is it start 12, right? So when you're starting 12, man,
It needs more depth.
you need more depth, man. So I'm down tiering Waddle for sure if I can. Man, all those seconds on this team, I don't know. You're probably gonna have to just value play the gains on those when you can. Take some of those receivers, right? That's probably Pickens territory, guys like that. Hold those when you can. Yeah, but this is a rebuild, so I'm moving Kyler for hopefully a very nice down tier. I'm looking to move these running backs whenever the hell you can on a pop, and then would you down tier Higgins here too, Mike, or do you think you're gonna hold him?
I would explore it, man. You know how I like to play, though. Everybody on my team's for sale at any given moment. It's just a matter of price. But I was trying to point out the obvious ones to me, where it's like these are dudes I would actively shop. Like they're going on the block. You know, I'm fielding offers. Higgins, I mean, if somebody wants to come for him, like cool, like I'll entertain it. I don't know if I'm like putting him on the block per se. Like, hey, come get it. Because then people are going to be, oh, it's a fire sale. And then you get your bullshit offers for T. Higgins. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Right, for sure.
I'm good.
I'm with you there. Yeah. If the price is right, I'd move Higgins, but I'm not actively, like, trying to push him right now.
For sure. All right. We said hi to Kyle. Appreciate you being in here, man. Mello, it's good to have you. Dynasty Barry, man.
Dynasty Barry, what up, buddy?
Yeah. Kyle says, talk to me, Goose. Mike L in here. What's up, guys? Mike, I saw your Twitter reaction to the Sonic Truth podcast. Thought it was pretty bad. Just wanted to hear your thoughts. We talked a little bit on our Patreon episode how we ended it. We'll just kind of give you the recap. I mean, this is a more public place, I guess. I thought it was bullshit. You know, I don't know Matt Kelly. You know, he's got what he's built at Player Profiler is very good. The site, I love it. Dynasty Ranks, all the tools that he's done. His podcast is very entertaining. From being a content creator, from the little bit that I know Nate Liss, you know, we're not best friends or anything, but I support the guy. He does really good work. Really enjoy it. I just know kind of being in the space now, like if that's how I was treated, if I was on the other end of it, like mad props to Nate for having the ability to take it for an entire show. Because like, you know, Adam, a few jokes here and there are fine, but I mean, we're talking 40 plus fucking minutes of it. And at some point, I think any normal person would have lost their fucking mind and been like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
for sure. And I mean, there was also like, and you say, you can bust my ball. You and I bust each other's balls sometimes more so than others. And we'll take shots that have a little bit of real meaning and we know we're playing around. There was a spot pretty early, Mike, where it felt like it was more malicious than, and maybe it wasn't the nature intended by Matt, but it started feeling that way and it got worse and worse and worse. It's like, all right, you could tell by Nate Lish's reactions and what he's saying and how it's going that, like, this isn't really just ball busting. Like, you're really, you know, on a live show trying to fuck with the guy. So, you know, I don't know Matt Kelly, don't know Nate Liss either, but for me personally, like you said, with the content creation, man, not even just that. I don't think you treat people that way, man. Like I'm all about busting balls and, you know, making fun of people a little bit, but that's just ridiculous, man. For a guy that has been doing a show with you for years, it makes no sense to me.
I would say too, I always thought it was like one of two things with that. Like either the first one and given the benefit of the doubt because of like, you know, I've listened to Matt Kelly shit for years, right? Long time. If it was like a bit or a stick, you know, I understand it, you know, clicks and funny and entertainment. I get that whole part. Just, I don't know how he thought it was going to be received because it was pretty negative resoundingly from just about everybody that, you know, and a lot of it too, like it was one of the few Matt Kelly pods that I actually watched in video form because I wanted to see Nate's face and Nate's reaction and it wasn't positive. So I don't know. It just felt weird. You know, it's their business, but yeah, I don't think I'm one to also just bite my fucking tongue like when I see stuff like that. I thought it was pretty Bush League bullshit to treat somebody like that, especially when they're leaving. You know, Adam hit it. We like to bust each other's balls back and forth, but You know, I said on our Patreon pod, you know, if he chose to leave and go do something for himself, like, I'm going to wish him the best of luck. I appreciate you being here. Hope we can continue being best friends forever. And can't wait till you come back on again, buddy. But good luck to you. I don't know if I'm going to go back and do 40 minutes of like, here's every bad take you ever had, Adam. Let me just rub it in a public setting here.
Right, for sure.
I don't think I'd do that to you, buddy. Like, I give you shit, but it'll probably be in private.
Yeah.
Can you believe you like this guy? What an idiot.
Right. What an idiot.
Yeah, Ryan, man. I love my Top Gun tease, man. Top Gun. The new movie is so phenomenal. I hope everybody's seen it. Adam, have you seen it? You know,
I haven't yet. No,
okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
You got a baby, so you're not allowed to go to
movies.
I
will see it. You know I will see it. I just haven't yet.
If I had a mid to late 23 first, what players would you be targeting on a contender in Superflex? Mid to late, Adam. I think this is a good one, too, because people see the 23 part and, for the most part, lose their fucking minds. Like, if I thought it was really late on a... Or even relatively late, you know what I mean? If I'm building a contender and I'm going to move my first away, I think you're open to a shit ton of possibilities of players that I would like to have.
Yeah.
Some of them grosser than others. You know what I mean? Like Keenan Allen. Who wouldn't love to have Keenan Allen as like their wide receiver 3 on a contender, and all it costs you is your 23 first if you know you're going to...
If you're strong, if you're very much locked into being late, like a playoff team from last year, real strong team. I mean, come on, I'll take Keenan Allen for that right now.
Cortland Sutton.
A late one. Oh yes, definitely.
Josh Jacobs.
In best ball for sure. Lineup probably depend on the scenario. I feel like on a lot of my league contenders and lineup, like I don't know if I would need it, but no problem with it.
I'm gonna kind of put it like around. What do you say, like 7?
Yeah, I think 7 is a good target range, right?
7 or better.
And then, but
Shit,
the thing is, Mike, I think you can shoot. I think you can swing higher.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we might be selling ourselves short the way some people are valuing this. You might be able to get a lot higher. You know, I've seen things on there about like Antonio Gibson or a random 23 first. Right, just straight up. Well, that's an easy one for me.
And I think there's, Mike. I think that's kind of the point here is that like there's. Okay, I guess Wyatt, the thing for me would be a couple things. One, are you just like actively going to push this in because you're trying to strengthen your team right now, or if like especially if this is someone's coming to you for this pick, like hey, I'm trying to rebuild and go get 23 first. A lot of times, if it's in that scenario, jeez, man, you can maybe even get higher than that, Mike. Like it's crazy. You know, you can get crazy deals done right now. So, I in a startup, Mike, that. Someone sold me Cam Akers, the pick for Cam Akers in the 4th for a 23 first. Like, you'd be surprised what you can get done. I traded a 23 first to Alvin Kamara straight up, you know? Like, you'd be surprised what you can get done for just a 23 first before people really know that it's 110 or something.
So, like, quarterback positions, I'll just rapid fire off some ones here. Like Kirk Cousins, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. Kind of in that range. I'd take them all. Running backs, Gibson, Montgomery, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Kamara. Wide receivers, Deontay, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Bateman, Keenan Allen,
Smitty.
Smitty, Elijah Moore, Cortland Sutton. And I really think there'll be a video coming out tomorrow. Late 23 first or Darnell Mooney, baby. Where you at? You agree or you disagree with me?
If you're a contender and you know that it's going to be late, I'd send it.
Full fucking send.
I think that's starting to get to the floor, but I definitely would send it. What's up, Jay?
What's going on, Jay?
Because that's that eighth round range, right? For Mooney,
are you taking attendance? You told Brian he needs to come to class, so
get your ass to class. Way to come in, man. I'm not taking attendance.
Kevin Bacon with 2 C's. I love it.
Fuck yeah. 2 C's, man.
12-team PPR Superflex. Start 10. Garrett Wilson for Elijah Moore in 2:23 seconds. Oh, baby. I would love to do this one. I will take the Elijah Moore in the 2:23 seconds all day. People will dunk on us and they will hate us, but I will tell you this. I would rather have Elijah Moore over Garrett Wilson right now, and you're going to give me 2 picks on top of it? Woo!
I'll tell you this. I think I have Wilson 1 spot ahead of Moore, but I have him back-to-back. Like, this is a trade I'm not making probably straight up either way. I don't think. Maybe if I'm contending, actually, I might take Elijah Moore just because he's a year further on. But the 2 seconds, like, this is stupid. It's easy.
Yeah, I love that.
And in 10 team, what if one of those is early? It's like a late first.
Yeah, I love that. Brandon with the hard hitting questions will make you think. Favorite go to Sunday afternoon snack on game day? Ooh. My first answer that I thought of, Brandon, when I saw it was seafood, because I seafood and I eat it. So
Nice.
to give you a real one, it's always kind of become a tradition for me and my wife. As you can tell, I'm a fat piece of shit, but we love to get Buffalo Wild Wings. Get it to go, come home. She eats her stuff upstairs watching NCIS or whatever the fuck she watches, and I'm down there slobbing on wings. So I like Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, give me some hot wings on Sunday.
I'm a big wings guy during the game too. And then my favorite snack is right here though.
It's the best snack. You drink your calories.
Yeah, but I'm a big wings guy for sure.
Kevin, he hit it, man. The new Top Gun is fucking phenomenal.
Can't wait to watch it.
And I'm glad you came back, Kevin. We missed you the last one. We missed you the last one, buddy.
Oh,
look
T-Rock.
at T-Rock, man. Come on. Come on.
Always was something, T-Rock. Damn it.
How can you dunk? Try to dunk on
the
quads?
Disrespect on Saquon right now.
That's horrible, man.
T-Rock probably would take Tony over Saquon's in a startup right now.
That's mean, but true. Oh man,
The bacon must be thick.
Hey, Barry's with us, man. Elijah Moore. I think probably most people. I think Garrett Wilson's probably going to around before 607 to Elijah Moore was 709. So about a little bit more than a round. You give me the 2 seconds for a 6 to a 7th. Even if I look at it in that, right, I take the names out of it, I take my Elijah Moore out of it, I take the rankings out of it. That's an easy one for me, man. If I'm in a startup and I'm picking 607 and somebody goes, I'll give you my 709 in 2 seconds for this pick. Here you go, buddy.
Elijah Moore is going to be somebody that we get to in one of these shorts series we're doing here on YouTube. If you're interested in those, we'll have Elijah Moore come out at some point. I really don't understand. Like I don't understand why Garrett Wilson going there is a bad thing for Elijah Moore. Like, it just there's certain narratives in the summer that just don't make fucking sense. So I'm taking the discount on Elijah Moore all day, and I think it should be much closer than ADP says. Right now, Mike, it says wide receiver 19 to wide receiver 29. I do have Wilson one spot ahead, but I think they're really close in value. But even if it's just startup picks, like you said, Mike, I would take probably, if someone said 607 to 709 and you throw me a 23 second, I'm probably thinking about that. Unless there's someone there I really want to smash. If you throw 2, come on, man.
I haven't dove into the Elijah Moore like numbers, you know what I mean? Because we'll have that video that'll come out. When we do it, it's in the fucking works. I mean, you got the dope ass thumbnail for it already. It's just a matter of pulling stats and hitting record at this point. But I would venture to say, didn't Elijah Moore play really well, not in the slot last year? I thought I've heard this where he played well in the slot, but he also performed well on the outside. I think the only cause for concern would have been if they would have drafted a guy who's a strict slot option. You know what I mean? But even though he showed that he could do it on the outside too, I think the fact that it's just wide open for him to be in the slot as much as they fucking want him to at this point. I mean, who else are they going to play there? But Braxton Berrios? Come on.
Yeah, well,
come on.
I think that's the other thing. We'll get into some of the stats specifics, but I'm pretty sure, Mike.
But I'm just spitballing here.
I am too. But I'm pretty sure. I don't actually know off the top of my head. I was going to start looking at him, but I'll just give you what I basically dove into on him is that his snap share was not actually that high, as you would think for a guy like Elijah Moore. And still, given that his snap share was not that high, his targets per snap was extremely high. So he's earning targets, and there was really no one else in that offense to speak of that's concerning. I think Garrett Wilson's actually a good thing. Give him another weapon. Zach Wilson takes a step forward. You got to remember, last year Zach Wilson was hurt, and who's throwing the ball too? I just think everything is probably moving forward in this offense to only be better. And we saw flashes of Elijah Moore last year, and it's Zach Wilson takes steps forward. Garrett Wilson comes in, takes some attention away. No, it's not good for Elijah Moore. I just think some of it's like I don't understand how this happens. Like I don't get it.
Yeah. I get it. I get you, man. I would say this. In the case of Elijah Moore, I think back to last year. You remember, last year was our first year doing content.
Yeah.
Right. And you remember Jag being in our DMs all the time. You remember that time he was going to sell Elijah Moore for like a second? And he was like, I'm going to sell this guy. I got to get rid of him. And I think it was that exact week, like when we told him, no, don't fucking do that. Why are you panicking already? I think he went for like 30 or 25 plus or whatever.
It was one of those big boom weeks. Yeah. Elijah Moore. Yeah. You know what? I think I remember that too. Shit, man.
That just sticks out to me. Just sticks out to me, man.
It is Barkley. Don't let T-Rock do this to you, Mello.
Oh, my God.
All right. The wings, yes. The hard seltzers, no. Right. Yeah. Talk to him, Barry. That's right.
Elijah Moore is dope. All right. Castle Black's got one
dope
for us. Forget landing spots and draft capital. What rookie wide receiver do you think is the best in this 22 class? I'll let you go first. On this one.
Do I think is best? Like just, I'm very high on Garrett Wilson as the person, regardless. Like if this is not talking about landing spots and draft capital. For me, Garrett Wilson was my one, but it was very close between him, London, and Burks. So if you take all of it out, like I leaned Garrett Wilson, but that's before all that, and that's not. I don't have Garrett Wilson wide receiver 1 anymore.
The best wide receiver, in my opinion, I think I've been on it before, landing spots and draft capital and all that shit, was Drake London. Yep. Something about his game, man, when you put on the film and watch him, it's just so enticing. Huge body, massive catch radius, produced like a fucking monster until he broke his ankle.
Right.
I think it was a broken ankle, right? It was.
Yep, it was.
Yeah.
Now you're making me. I hate when you do that. You question it, and then I have to question it. I'm pretty sure it was an ankle. Yes.
Until he broke his ankle.
He's got the basketball. He's got the basketball body. I like him a lot.
Week 7, week 8. He's just so smooth too. Like he's actually a pretty decent route runner. Like it doesn't look laborious for him. Man, what did Bray have him comp to? Like I know Mike Evans seems like
he said a Mike Evans, Brandon Marshall type.
I would say more Brandon Marshall. Like,
I think he gave Brandon Marshall as like the high end comp for him.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. Maybe this is just bias. I mean, there's probably numbers to support it, but like I don't ever view Mike Evans as a yards after the catch kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like
I think. All right.
He may be really good at it. I don't know. It's just like when I think Mike Evans, that ain't the first thing that comes to mind. Like I think yards after the catch, I think of Juju. I think of A.J. Brown. I think of Treylon Burks from this class, like big yak monsters. When I think of yards after the catch, Mike Evans may be really good at it. I don't know. I could just be talking out my ass. But
I'll say
that's why I say like Brandon Marshall, because Drake London reminds me more of that big-bodied receiver with that huge catch radius. But also, if you remember, for those of you who've been watching football long enough, Brandon Marshall was a fucking monster after the catch. And Drake London has a lot of that to him. Like, he was putting some moves on some dudes out there where I'm like, a guy that big shouldn't be able to pull that off. That's some Madden creative player shit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it twisted. I've never been trying to slander Drake London. I've always had him top 3, top 2. There was a point, I think, Mike, though, earlier in this winter where you'd be crazy not to say Treylon Burks. I mean, Treylon Burks was wide receiver. He was the 101 in fucking everybody's mind for a while. So there was a big 3 for me all along with those guys. And for me, it was Garrett Wilson. But I think right now, to cheat a little bit here, when you put the landing spots in the draft capital, I think it's Drake London easily.
All right, Brian says, what roster construction do you have in best ball? Full of high-level stacks and limits depth, or no stacks at all with good depth? I think it depends on the kind of best ball you're playing first. Like if you're talking underdog, seasonal, tournament style, I think there's definitely is Josh Larkey's done fantastic fucking work on best ball for underdog as far as stacking and the importance of it. And even why you should be stacking in your lineup leagues. Adam, I think it's always something you and I kind of look at, but I'm not going out of my way to make a stack in a startup draft or in trades. Like, it's cool if I get it, but I'm not going to pay extra to go do it. For
Yeah,
Dynasty best ball, man, it's all about the depth for me. And I do want to have a few high-end assets. So that'll be more content that we're going to get into later. And we're going to do a draft. We'll record tomorrow. It'll come out on Friday. But an actual startup draft where I put that into play as far as the mix of depth, consistency, and then where I want to get my spike weeks or boom weeks from. Redraft best ball, like underdog style. Man, I think in those, especially like those tournaments, man, you got to shoot for the fucking moon like all the time, right? Because you're not just playing against the guys that you're drafting against.
Right.
If you make the playoffs, then you're playing against everybody else. So you gotta go for maximum upside there.
I think stacks are optimal, but like Mike, I think you're pretty much right though. Like if I can make a stack happen, I'm gonna do it. But if it comes at the cost of something that's way over an overpay, like for market, I'm not gonna do that. Unless you're gonna try to get creative and you're still getting 2 pieces back or something. Like I would advise not to overpay for the stacks, especially the high end level stacks, because those are the ones typically you're going to have to overpay to go get, and everyone sees, oh, he wants Andrews because he's got Lamar, he has, something like that. So you do not want to limit depth at all. So to answer those 2 questions, and then I mean I think that should all answer it. Like if it costs you depth, or if you have to overpay to go get a stack, it's not probably worth doing.
Some of these comments, Jesus, but not this one. But Alvin asked, with the coaching staff of Tampa Bay coming out and saying they're unhappy with left guard Lenny's weight, reported at 260 pounds. What do you guys think of Rashad White? Buy, sell, or hold? First off, like I'll say with the Leonard Fournette thing, I think I was kind of perusing Scott Connor's GroupMe and listening to it. I think that kind of got rebuked where it was OTAs. He might have been that big, and I think we all saw the picture at the time.
Yeah.
And then that's probably when that quote from the staff came out, to be honest. And it's just getting brought up again. One, training camp hasn't started yet, so all these like little blurbs and shit that come out, I could really give a fuck less, man. Most of it's just bullshit. Remember, we got 8,000 of them. We can go back where like Jamar Chase can't catch because the football doesn't have stripes on it, or he doesn't wash his ass, or insert next play. There's always some bullshit. The actual thing, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it kind of got rebuked. I swear, Adam, there was a video like last week of like Lenny running with Swift and somebody else, like 4 guys lined up on a treadmill.
Yeah,
he did not look 260 fucking pounds there. Like he looked pretty good there, and he looked pretty fast and agile, keeping up with the rest of them. So I think he might have came in overweight, but this is kind of his shtick too. Like this isn't the first time that he has where he works himself back into shape. But again, the general sentiment is I really don't give a shit. As far as Rashad White, man, I like him, the talent. Just I don't think like this is news for me to bump him up or change anything on how I valued him now. You know what I mean? Like still the same. Probably not doing much this year. Can't pass block for shit. And we know how that goes if you can't pass block for Tom fucking Brady. So
that's good, because that's kind of where I'm going to get into. One, with him, I'll start with him and go backwards. With Rashad White, the only reason you've won him, I think, is for his pass catching prowess, in my opinion. And I guess that's attractive for Tom Brady. But one, Tom Brady typically doesn't ever use a bunch of rookies. And so I don't even know how much this guy gets on the field. And then on top of it, if he's a pass guy and he's not going to pass protect for Brady, he's not getting on the field. So like he's not a buy for me. He's a hold, I would say, if I'm a rebuilder, because unless someone's going to come pay you, which why would they do that until there's production shown? And like, would I sell for the right price? Sure, I'll sell anybody for the right price. But like, I don't think you're going to get something crazy for Rashad White unless it's someone worried about the Leonard Fournette stuff, which on one hand, it's a little foolish. I'll give the caveat of Leonard Fournette, I think he's been talented. I mean, very high pick. He's kind of goofy. And I think this isn't the first time he's been overweight and had issues. I think he's going to work himself back into shape. But at what point does it cost him? I mean, he's 27 now. Like, I'm not worried about him right now, but shit, man, his value creeped up quite a bit after last season. He's going to get the ball a ton if he's healthy, though, with Brady. So on a contender, man, if there's any fucking fade, you might as well buy if you can do it cheap.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Chase is the resident notable Zach Wilson hater. The best highlights for Zach Wilson in 22 happened when he railed his mom's friend. He's not it. Well, what if he's railing another mom's friend right now? You never know. Throwing bombs and banging moms, baby.
You seen that Ozark? They did the little Ozarks meme.
Yes. Yes.
That was fucking awesome.
Wyatt and
what's her name?
Darlene.
Darlene. Yeah, Darlene. Yeah.
Golly, that
was savage. Fuck.
Do you think Zach Wilson could reasonably support both Wilson and Moore, assuming he lasts beyond the season? This is one of the things that I've tried to get better at in Dynasty specifically. Adam can attest, and people who listen to me in the Discord know that I'm higher on Zach Wilson than a lot of people. I'm not saying, like, even now, like Ray asked today, like, re-rank the 5 quarterbacks, the top 5 for last year. Zach Wilson's still 5th, right? But there's other guys who are better. I like him for a bounce back, but I also like Tua. And I think it's one of those things where if I'm going to be bullish on Zach Wilson, don't you have to be bullish on both of his weapons as well, right? Or if I'm bullish on his weapons, don't I have to then be bullish on the quarterback? Like, the correlation between the two needs to coincide. Like, I can't say, like, fade the shit out of Zach Wilson, but I love Elijah Moore. Okay, then I really don't love Elijah Moore. So if I think Zach Wilson's in for a bounce back and I still like the talent of Zach Wilson and I'm higher on him than most, I don't see any reason he can't support 2 wide receivers. Now, to the level that he could support those 2 wide receivers, that's probably the thing that's up for question. But it's not like either one of those guys are costing you a shit ton. It's not like the Bengals situation where it's Chase in the first and Higgins in the third, the early part of the third. Right, we're talking about a guy we talked earlier in the 6th and the 7th. At that point, can he support him at ADP? Fuck yeah, he can. Now, if they were both going in the 3rd round, probably not. Then we need to reevaluate. But where they're going right now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, man, I'm gonna pull some stuff up because we can go to the next question. Maybe I'll get back to it. I'll say this though to quickly get off of it. One, like, even I do think he can, yes. But even if he doesn't, like, I still think that we do like good receiving talents that don't have good quarterbacks in Dynasty. We do, and like, neither one of these guys is really costing me a lot. Wilson's a 6th and Moore's a mid-7th in startups. So part of the reason I like both of these guys so much is value too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Elijah Moore is going to finish as a top 10 receiver this year, right? It's also being reasonable about it. But if Zach Wilson ends up taking a step forward, Mike, I think that's some of the upside that I really like for both of these guys is if he does and if the offense gets better, these talents can really excel with a good quarterback.
Hey, Cody put up here Elijah Moore's PPR points. Left slot 52, left wide 29.6, right slot 27.4, right wide 6. So must not have played out wide on the right side very often. But, hey, put up good numbers out wide on the left side. Apparently they really favor him on the left side in that offense or in the right slot.
Yep.
Yeah, not too bad. I like it. I don't know what that was in relation to, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, he was talking about the receiver. That was about the receivers,
okay.
Who he had the highest, I'm thinking.
Oh, Olave. Okay, I get it. Since I'm balls deep into best ball and navigating ADP, whose ADP is your favorite value? Who is too high and you wish was lower? We talking Dynasty ADP, T-Rock, or redraft?
Yeah, good question.
Because I fully admit I don't look enough at the fucking redraft stuff. I don't.
If it's the redraft stuff, I think I've done a few underdog ones, but not enough to tell you ADPs and all that.
No, that's why I go.
If it's Dynasty,
that's why I go to Ike and Gene. That's why I go to Ike and Gene.
If it's Dynasty, Mike, what's the answer?
If it's Dynasty, ADP wise, Jesus, man,
Yeah.
there's probably a billion of these fucking guys at ADP that are. I'll tell you right now, Jalen Waddle's
favorite
too high.
value. Yes. Well,
Favorite
wish that was
value.
lower. So it's like a target you would like to have, but Like we're not even really worried about having Waddle, right?
Yeah. Man, I wish that was lower. Jeez, man, this is tough if I'm looking at best ball and thinking about it. Like Swift right now is going at the 207, but in best ball, I mean, Adam, I don't know how much we're going to end up with him on our teams. You know what I mean? Just kind of the way we're starting to shift and build our stuff. Man, that's a good one.
mean, I don't hate taking Swift, but like lately, I'm just comfortable taking other players in that range. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be mad at getting Swift, but I prefer a few other guys right now.
I got one too, and I think people will probably hate it. They will hate it.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Best value for me in Dynasty Best Ball, ADP wise, Ryan fucking Tannehill.
I don't think there's anything to hate, man. Ninth round.
Ninth round
is when you should be grabbing your fucking quarterback 3, man. You know?
Yeah, I don't know how many of these drafts I walk away with like Ryan Tannehill is like QB3, and I'm just like, oh, thank God.
Well, I'll tell you. So it's good that you went that way. For me, currently my favorite, especially in best ball, Mike, is there's a big gap. So, you know, when we do the shithead ones, right, the quarterbacks tend to go crazy early. So
Yes.
you can almost throw the Adeko ADP out the window, but the Adeko ADP still holds true as far as values based on the draft, right? So basically, if quarterbacks go early, you can just push all those values up a little bit. Mike, I'm walking away. God, I hope we are not terribly wrong on this one player, and you know who it is because it's a quarterback that just is. I don't know if it's because that Mitch is supposed to start right now and it's July and everyone's freaking out.
All the Kenny Pickett,
I can't help taking him because Mike, he's at 8th round.
Yeah,
the only first round quarterback last year, or I'm sorry, not last year. This draft is fucking going in round 8. Mike, he's going. Literally, there's an Adeko's ADP. This is to my point. The same thing happens in our drafts. Where they go higher is after Brady goes or those guys in that range, there's this drop off where they don't go. And you can wait because, Mike, it's 606 to 804. No quarterbacks in that range in ADP. None.
I'll give you a running back. Josh Jacobs in best ball. Just
That's
even when we do shithead
one.
drafts. Even when we do shithead drafts, it always seems like I'm like, oh, shit, I can't believe Jacobs is still here. Now, sometimes I don't always get him because I get too stupid and I try to get cute and somebody snipes the fuck out of me on the way back. But even where he goes in those, it's like, Jesus Christ, this guy's going late as hell. So yeah, Josh Jacobs for running back for me. And to do like overvalue, there's so many people in here that I just fade at their cost. Like,
but
ends,
okay,
yeah,
is there a guy that you'd like to have more of that's going just a little too high? I guess that's the question.
I would really like to have, man. I would absolutely be thrilled if I could get more Dalton Schultz.
But that's
Dalton
why I want to
Schultz
do one
was
on him.
Dalton
That's why I
Schultz
want
was
to do a
so
player
much,
show on him.
He was so much fucking fun when we were getting him in the 9th round. He's no fun now that he's going in the 6th. Just absolutely none. I'm completely fucking out on Dalton Schultz in the 6th. But in the 9th round, it was like, you guys are all idiots. I got a guy who's probably going to be a top 5 tight end.
That's a really good one. So, because I had 2, the other one, because Schultz is one, and the other one's the same position, but another guy. Like I actually would like to have more of them, but not in round 6, and that's T.J. Hockenson.
All right. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Barry says Drake London for him, best wide receiver.
I mean, I get it.
No arguments there. I get the Garrett Wilson, or if you said Treylon Burks, like I'd be on close. They're all 3 real close together.
Yeah, I think pre-draft they were close for me, but yep. I won't fight anyone that says Drake London at all.
Thoughts on Javonte Claypool, Lazard for Najee and Higgins? Lineup, best ball. Well, I'll give you both. Adam, best ball. Which side do you want? Javonte and Claypool, Lazard, Najee, and Higgins.
Well, it's Javonte Claypool and Alan Lazard, and then it's Najee Harris and Higgins.
Okay. Yes, Jesus, I have dyslexia sometimes, I think.
It's all good. So, all right. So, lineup, this is easily Najee and Higgins for me.
Yep.
I mean, that's ridiculous in fucking lineup if I could do that. Mike, this is one of those, man, in best ball, maybe. I might even not take that. Like if I had Najee and Higgins, I might even just stay. Now, depending on my depth situation, I don't know that I would trade all three of those for those two if I like don't have depth either. So it's I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. You know what? I go out and say it. I want Najee and Higgins on both sides, both leagues, both formats.
I do too, as long as you can afford it. As long as you can afford the depth.
Even then,
I'll find
a fucking Lazard and Claypool replacement for cheap.
True. I'll tell you what. Actually, you know what, Mike? I'll tell you why you're right. Why I shouldn't be overthinking this, because if you don't have enough depth, you should take the Najee and Higgins side and then go sell Najee and rebuild. Because if you don't have enough depth with just losing Lazard, you don't have enough depth. Period. You're not ready to win.
Kevin Bacon with 2 C's approves. That's what matters here. I love Kevin Bacon. So good. What is it? 6 degrees or 7 degrees or 8 degrees of Kevin Bacon? Whatever. I forget what the fuck it is. Something like that. Everything leads back to Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon with 2 C's. Thick.
Which prospect for the 23 class at running back, not named Bijan or Gibbs, are you rooting for the most this season to perform and elevate their draft stock out of our rookie drafts? This is easy for me. There's one guy that came to mind, and it's Sean motherfucking Tucker for me. I love Sean Tucker so much. I love his game. I love the way he produces. Being at Syracuse, he gets the nostalgia. Now it's even before my time. I don't want to date myself. I'm only 35, but I have some nostalgia about the good old days of Syracuse. Jim Brown, Floyd Little, Ernie. God, now I'm an idiot. Yeah, Ernie Davis. Jesus, I don't know why.
There you go. Okay.
Ernie Davis. Yeah, who sadly passed away from heart condition. Or not heart condition, leukemia. I think he had cancer, leukemia. Yeah, they had the history of stud running backs coming out. So yeah, another Syracuse running back coming out, even though it was back in the 60s. I would love to see Sean Tucker actually elevate himself. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great NFL talent. I think Ray has touched on it. He doesn't know what the NFL is going to do because it says fucking Syracuse on his helmet. You know, the NFL can be fickle. I hope they look past it because he's awesome talent. So, Sean Tucker for me. Adam, for you, running back.
Yeah. Sean Tucker is probably the right answer for me, too. I'm interested to see how Tank Bigsby does this year and where he goes, because it feels like I don't even know if I want him. I need to see more of him to know that, but it's interesting how he was kind of early when 23 was really being hyped up. It was like he was mentioned as this right there with Gibbs and maybe a little behind Bijan, and now it's like Tank Bigsby's like slipping like crazy in value. I don't know. Maybe it's correct, but I'm just intrigued to see how he does this year and where he ends up going and how he'll be utilized in the NFL.
Another one I throw in there, I think a little bit more off the radar, Zach Charbonnet, man. I really wanted him to come out last year, and
that's why I'm so. See, here's where I'm worried about with Charbonnet is like, whatever he obviously he did it, so it doesn't matter anymore. But like you go in as a senior with this loaded ass class, and it's like, what happens to you? You know, how far do you slip? And why did he not come out this year? Like I don't understand it.
Yeah. All right. Traded Chubb plus Ramondre for Elijah Moore plus a 23 first plus change. I like that. Son of a bitch, I like that a lot. Looking to trade Elijah Moore for an upgrade at wide receiver or some other plot for ETN. Shooting for Judy or CD. Ideas on what I need to offer for them. I would keep Elijah Moore over Judy, hands down, no question. CD. Yep. Adam, you gonna tag on like a second, maybe 2 seconds, or a second and like a dart and go see if you can get CD? Like I don't mind up tiering as long as the price isn't. I'm not putting a fucking first on it. I'll tell you that much.
I would have to know. Yeah, I would have to know, Mike, the settings in this too.
Yeah.
If it's a start 9 lineup, I'll say this: it's not the way I dynasty, but like you're gonna have to put a first probably. Now I probably just wouldn't do that, but. Like if you had the assets and you really love CeeDee Lamb and that's what you wanted to do,
for sure, I
could understand it. But then at the same time, I don't know. It's not horrible either because then you're basically you're going to go from Chubb and Ramondre to CeeDee Lamb. So
right.
I wouldn't personally do that though. Like, and the other thing is if it's not start 9 or start 10, if it's start 12 lineup or if it's best ball, fuck no, I'm not putting a first on that. Not even close, man.
All right. How differently should I value one QB 23 picks? This is a fucking good one here.
Great
too.
question.
Like, we don't do a lot of one QB.
Great question.
And by a lot of, I mean I do absolutely fucking zero one QB.
We don't. I don't have any dynasty one QB. We have our boys, the AAF Commando guys, JB and them.
What would you say though, Adam? Like, if we're in this situation, so this is why I like doing what we're doing. Even though I don't play in these leagues, it still makes me think, like, how the fuck would I approach it if I was sitting there right now? And I would say this for one QB 23 picks. I think you got probably the top 4 I feel good about. After that, in a one QB league, like, I'm comfortable letting them bitches go. I'm just going to be honest. Like, I'd be more than comfortable letting them go, and I'd treat them like I would a late 23 first in a Superflex league. So I'm thinking like Bijan, Gibbs, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Boutte, and like 4, maybe 5. Like, you think one of these other running backs comes up. But after that, like, nah, I'm kind of good, man. Like, I just treat it like a late 23 first in Superflex where I'd be looking to move off of it and capitalize on it. And I think you might get a hell of a fucking price for it. But man, the appeal for 23, some of the appeal, and a lot of it, I don't think a lot of people are recognizing, is you talked about it earlier, Adam. We had one fucking quarterback going the 2022 class. What do you think happens next year? Right or wrong, there's going to be a correction to some extent. We're going to have 2, probably 3, 4, 5 potential quarterbacks in the first round next year, which in Superflex really pushes everything else down. You know what I mean? That value of Superflex holds forever. So in one QB, I would say like top 4, I'm cool with. I would value. Anything like I could project outside of that, I think I'd be comfortable moving off of, and I'm not going to invest too high in. But what say you?
I would say, I guess it depends on what your league's doing. Like for me, when you think about one quarterback leagues, you know, you're essentially just pushing the quarterbacks out of the equation, right? You're not going to touch even the high end quarterbacks. You're not going to touch till round 2. So, like for me, if there's a class that I do want a lot of picks in a one quarterback league, it's going to be 23, because although there is probably going to be, like, we know for sure CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are going to be coming off the board in the first round of the NFL draft, and there's probably potential for 2 or 3 more. So, but this class also does project to be a lot deeper. Guys like Sean Tucker, Tank Bigsby, Zach Evans, like in one quarterback, I think those are guys I want to have too. So it ultimately depends on cost, what you're going to get for them. But like if I'm going to have several picks in a class in one quarterback league, it would be 23. Because like shit, man, 22. Even some of these other years, if you don't have depth at like running back and wide receiver, like you don't want those picks.
Yeah, Jeremy, we did touch on it a little bit. Rewind a little bit if you want to get some of that. If you want some more in depth on it, I think we spent like 20 fucking minutes on our Patreon show. So come check us out. Patreon.com/South Harmon. $1, man. You can check it out. Check out the fucking Discord. Get in there, and you can also listen to that if you really wanted to. $1, I guess.
And if you don't,
there's a little more in depth.
It was bullshit. So
yeah, that's
all we got to say on it.
How dumb would it be to move, I assume this McLaurin for Judy right now?
Do not do this, please.
Yeah, don't.
I beg of you. I beg of you. Don't do this.
If I was going to move McLaurin, though, for Judy, like if this was the offer, what else do I need on top? I mean, at first it's too easy to say, but
I'm not.
Couple seconds? I'm just saying.
I don't know. I guess if it was really 2 seconds.
2 seconds?
Maybe.
I don't give
Dude,
a shit.
I'm not doing, Mike. I'm not doing it
for.
I'm not doing it for 1. Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Nah, I'm good. I ain't doing it for 1 either. What if
2,
I gave you?
I'd probably think about it. Yeah.
What if I gave you like a second that's devalued? So what if I said like McLaurin for Judy, 24 second, and David Bell?
Lineup, I want McLaurin still.
Okay.
Best ball, I'd probably take the package.
Okay. Just so we touch it. Chase is going to die on the Shud Tucker Hill. So at least like we get him back on.
I love it.
We lose him at the Zach Wilson shit, but we get him back on board. That's good.
We're back and forth with Trophy Chase, you know?
That's good. He's in,
Sorry,
he's out.
You can't be on board with everything we say. It'd be horrible for everybody.
Yeah. And Barry's out here. If you guys haven't checked out him, man, one of the members of Destination Debbie, Out here doing
Love fucking
fucking
Barry, man.
80
Love
Ps,
fucking
man.
Barry. Yeah.
Especially subscribe to that fucking newsletter, folks. It's so good, right? And you got links. You can click on the links, and it takes you right to the shit. God, it's good. You get Barry's ADP thoughts. Barry is tapped into the ADP. Love it. All right. Last year, I planted my flag on Ramondre real hard as my late round running back guy. That turned out right, but I really don't have a similar feeling about any of them this year. I don't know if I have one either, Adam. Like, I just taken shots at all of them. And any like late round running back that you like?
There's guys that I've taken my shots on, and I think, Mike, that it really goes to this class too. Like I have some shots at Zamir White later. I have some shots at TDP. But would if one of those guys hits, would I be shocked? No. But if they all are fucking zeros this year, I'm not gonna be shocked either.
Yeah. Maybe Hassan Haskins or Zamir White. Man, these dudes are probably zeros. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. I would say the one I end up with the most, like Adam, and I'm talking like rookie drafts, and you can attest to this too, rookie drafts or startups. I seem to get so much damn Kevin Harris. just all the Kevin Harris I could want. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm cool. Like, he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the athleticism. He had the injury concerns. Yes, they drafted Pierre Strong before him, but like, who the fuck is to say that he doesn't come out and beat out Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, and all those guys? Now, is it likely? Probably not. But in the, I don't know where the fuck I'm getting him, in the 24th, 25th round in a startup,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, yeah.
Why
I
not?
mean, I loved Kevin Harris. He was one of the guys pre-draft we liked a lot. And
Yes.
I guess, if you're going to be a later round running back, like, you could thrive in Hoodie's offense because he may give you the work. But a round before that, they drafted Pierre Strong. There's still Stevenson. There's still Harris. It's just, I wouldn't be shocked if it hits, but I'm not like, I'm not putting, it's laid eggs we're putting in that basket.
Yes,
I am sipping on today a little bit of Buffalo Trace.
See, this is
It's
always
almost gone.
the best question we always get is what bourbon Adam's sipping on. So I love it.
Yeah, just Buffalo Trace today. Nothing too fancy.
Tom, what's going on, buddy? What's going on?
Thomas, there he is.
Yeah, Jeremy, in case you missed it earlier, I don't know. This is going to be the third time I say it. Now I really sound like a real self-promotioner. Patreon.com/South Harmon. SOUTHHARMON. Boom. Nailed it.
Did you hear that? That's not a guy that doesn't like and love to say that. I mean, it's ingrained. It's in his dreams.
Yeah, I get that, man. Sometimes you really do just need to have somebody else say it back to you. You know what I mean? Like, I
Listen,
don't know how many times do
Mike
you or
and I
say
every
the
now and
truth?
again will be like, "Hey, man, just fucking, tell me it's all gonna be okay, and this is the right thing to do. You need some affirmation. It's all right.
And
Nothing wrong with that. That's what we're here for."
Sometimes our responses back are like, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you asking me? Just hit the button already. Like, take the trade, dummy."
Hey, dumbass, fucking press accept or no. Tell that fuck to pay up. Sometimes you need to hear it.
Ooh, since the Barkley jersey is on, what are your thoughts on
It's
him this year?
happening.
Can he bounce
It's
back
happening.
finally? Yes.
It's happening.
I think I might have like jumped out of my chair a little bit when I was on Ike and Gene's pod and we're covering the NFC East, because I'm an Eagles fan, they're Cowboys
yeah.
fans. But when we got to Barkley, about how fucking excited I am for Saquon this year, one of the things that always stood out to me, and I don't think anybody gave him credit, is Adam. I brought it up on their show, but you remember how much he was. The first 2 weeks he was god awful. The offense was god awful.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints game, and then I don't remember the other one. Right before the Dallas game where he had that freak injury where he rolled his ankle and got the high ankle sprain and all that bullshit.
Oh yeah.
He was on a fucking roll those 2 games, and it was like, he's back. And then a freak injury, and I'm like, oh, if he comes in with a Brian Dable offense this year, a little bit better, a little bit more, and he's back to being fully healthy,
Well,
are we going to get them 20-point per game weeks again? I think so.
Mike, so Barkley, since I'm rocking the jersey and he's asking the direct question, I'll go ahead and try to touch into it. So I think it's important to remember, especially coming off an ACL injury, a lot of times that's not like great for a running back their first year back, right? To Mike's point, the crazy part about it is, like, the first game sucked, even the second game wasn't great, but Mike's second game, third game, fourth game, and this is one of the things, especially in the running back landscape, where I think Saquon is just being left for dead kind of foolishly is he's one of the few that it projects to be on the field the whole fucking time and be utilized as a 3 down, and that's not debatable and arguable. He's a good pass blocker. He's going to be out there. Mike, off the ACL, week 2, week 3, week 4. 85% snaps, 86% snaps, 90% snaps. This is a guy that's fucking coming fresh off an ACL. And we started to see it week 3 and week 4, and then he gets hurt on the fluke injury, fucking rolls his ankle, not even in a football play, and he missed so much time after that, Mike. And then when he comes back, the offense was bad, the team's bad. It sucked at the end where it's like you could tell he really was disinterested and didn't want to be there. But now it's the best running back prospect we've ever seen coming off that. He's not coming off an ACL anymore. He's got a full year under his belt. He'll be back and more healthy. Like, I'm telling you, man, I would not be shocked at all if the blow up really happens this year. Like if we see that old quads, because I think that's coming.
Yeah. I don't like to do too much coach-centric analysis, but you get the guy who ran the Buffalo Bills offense coming over to the Giants. Now, are they going to be the Bills? Fuck no. Okay, but are they going to be better than they were under the Clapper, Jason Garrett? I think that's a reasonable assumption. What was another issue with New York last year, Adam? Offensive line was god-awful.
Right.
God-awful. What did they do this year? Went out and addressed it. They went out and they signed some free agents who are names and played decent, but then they also go out in the draft and they take Evan Neal, big-ass Evan Neal out of Alabama, who some people had as the 101 for a while, but they got him at a nice value. Took them, improved their offensive line a little bit. So, yeah, I'm excited for Saquon, at least for this year. Now, long-term dynasty outlook, because of age and everything else, okay, we can have a discussion there, right?
There you go. And man, it's crazy because, all right, I don't think that Saquon's actually injury-prone. It seems like that's something that's being discussed. Now, I just want people to think about this for a second. His rookie year was outrageously good.
Yes.
2K from scrimmage, right? Mm-hmm. He came back and played as a fucking rookie. Right. Now, granted, that's Eli, and he likes to check it down, but whatever. Okay, so then the next year, he was balling, and he has a high ankle sprain very early, right? So he plays a lot of that year hurt. Then 2 years ago, he played 2 games and missed the whole season, right? And now last year, it's like, I just think there's so much. We think so much about the negative right now because that's what recency bias tells us to do, that no one is thinking about, like, fuck, man, this guy's going to be a year off of the ACL. This guy is one of the most talented running backs in the league, and they're going to utilize him a lot, and the offense probably projects to be better with Daboll. It's like 5th round ADP? Come on, man. Let me get all that Saquon.
Easy.
You know?
I get it if you want to sell him and you're on a rebuilder or you're not contending, for sure. Now's probably not the best time to do it, though. Correct. And everybody who asks me, I'm like, you can shop him and see if you get an offer. Like, you give me 2 firsts for him on a rebuilder, I just cut my losses and I'm good. But most people are trying to bush league you and trying to go like, hey, I'll give you a first and a second, or I'll give you a first and something crappy or whatever back. Nah. Like, I'm going to hold out in week 1 or 2. I fully expect him to come out in one of those weeks, put up 20 points, and people being like, oh, he's back. And then that's when I'll try to sell him. That's when I'll do it.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Jeremy says, thoughts on Jacoby Myers? Seems incredibly undervalued on Keep Trade Cat. He's incredibly undervalued on Adigo's ADP. He goes in the 4th round, the middle part. Wide receiver 62, a guy that, Adam, you and I would say in a shallow lineup league, we probably don't want much to do with Jacoby Myers, right? Like, just start 9, just one of those dudes. Who gives a shit? But deeper ones, yes. Best ball, holy fuck yes. And I think that's what was great about remember we kind of got roasted a little bit for, saying like we'd take Jacoby Myers over the 22-209. Like,
yeah, come
fuck out of here, man. Like, give me the Jacoby Myers side easily.
Did you see I don't know. I didn't read too much into that, but Nate listed some kind of comp with him and Johnson.
Deontay Johnson. I saw the thumbnail. I haven't listened to the podcast yet.
I haven't either. I just interesting. I think it's what you just said is basically all you need to know. Best ball, fuck, man. 14th round, give me all Jacoby Myers.
And I think what everybody always forgets. We talk about positive touchdown regression. Pretty easy to have positive touchdown regression to Kobe Myers. He had one fucking touchdown, buddy.
Yeah,
I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he's just the unsexy value.
Yeah. He's Tyler Boyd, but maybe Tyler Boyd if Tyler Boyd was a number one option.
Yeah, right. That's fair. Yep.
So,
I mean, I think people get scared the undrafted thing. I don't care about all that in the 14th round. Like, okay, I'll take him in the 14th if you're worried about the no draft capital and all that other stuff.
Remember when he was coming out, how Kelvin Harmon was so much better than him in most people's eyes. That's why Jacoby Myers went undrafted.
R.I.P.
I think Kelvin Harmon might be playing tight end or something. I think
Kelvin Harmon is dead.
All right, great work. What are your thoughts? Give Lamar, get Trevor Lawrence and DK or Walker, 12-team Superflex, 10 premium, starting 9 lineup league. Man, generally I think I would favor Lamar, but it ain't like DK or Kenny Walker's any type of slouch here. I think I want the package. I'm comfortable coming off Lamar, even in a start 9 lineup. What do you say, Adam?
This is where it's tough, man. I pretty much always like the down tier. Even still, I would be comfortable doing this. I think it depends on what you're trying to do, and how your teams form. Because I love T-Law. I think T-Law and DK are great buys because the narratives are bad right now, and the value seems down on both of them. So if you're gonna get both of them for Lamar, I get it. But also, man, in start 9, if you're like somewhat competitive, Lamar could be, like we know the top end quarterbacks could be really, really good. So I'd be hesitant, especially if it's just for T-Law and Walker, unless you're rebuilding. Now, if you're rebuilding, I'm taking either those side easily. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying for contending.
I get it. I think I'd get a little bit risky, and I'd just go T-Law and DK even on a contender. T-Law and Walker, I'm kind of with you. Like, if it was a contender, I don't know how much Walker does right out the gate this year. Probably not a lot.
He might be someone that hemorrhages value initially and then catches it back up. Javonte Williams maybe of last year.
Just in general, like a 2-3 year out window, like just I'm not really pushing all in this year. Fuck yeah, I would take T-Law and Walker. Easy.
Correct. Definitely.
Tyler, marry ass and buy titties, or marry titties and buy ass. These are the tough questions we face.
The weekly ass or tits. I love it.
I know off-season hype for him is a pretty tender topic for basically everyone that liked him as a prospect, me included. But is anyone holding out a tiny bit of hope for Terrace Marshall? Unfortunately, I still fucking do for these guys, and I shouldn't because they're probably not going to do fuck all. But yes, the answer to the question is I hold out a tiny bit of hope for Terrace Marshall, and I think I just took him in this fucking draft that we're doing.
So I think the key word here is tiny, right? Because we know face planners are a bad investment.
Yes.
But they don't all fail.
Correct.
So at cost, Baker comes over, Robbie Anderson. I don't know what's going on with that shit.
I don't think he knows.
Listen, and he wasn't very good last year. I mean, it was insane how much he dropped the football. Granted, the quarterback play was bad too. But if Baker's an upgrade, if Terrace Marshall's actually disciplined, like I think odds are he does not hit, but if he's the number 2 in that offense and has a decent little season this year, I'm not going to be shocked. So a tiny bit of hope, yes. But if it's not tiny, no.
Tiny bit of hope as in the 19th round.
Yeah. If you're talking the 18th, 19th, 20th round, fuck it, man. Shoot your shot. You got to shoot on somebody there no one's going to love.
Like, what about, like, in the 16th round? You cool there? I mean, there's some probably other dudes you could make an argument for, but at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably right about there, though, Mike, is where it really gets, you're getting gross, right? Because 16th round, I can, without even pulling ADP, I know it's like, you get to like, fuck, man, do I really want to take it's all the same type shot guys. DPJ, Visca, go ahead, man. Go ahead and shoot it on Marshall a little early if you had to.
Yeah. I don't think I'm trading anything.
They're all guys with a bunch of blemishes. Otherwise, they're not in the 16th round,
I know we like to put values on dudes, but like even if I think about like a late 3rd round pick, like if I'm a contender, would I trade a late 3rd round pick for Terrace Marshall? The answer is probably still fuck no, because I think about what I would do with that pick later in the year or in some other package is just a grease piece to try to get something over the line. Like, I really don't want to go buy one guy who's a lawn dart anyways. Like, I want to use that pick, that draft capital, that liquidity that Scott Connor talks about as part of another part of the deal that I want to do. You know what I mean? To get something that'll actually be beneficial towards me in the end.
And my thing would be the reason I would say no to that, Mike, is then because like if you're going to do that on the contending side, there's other players in that same range that I think have a better chance of scoring points this year. And ultimately, if I'm pushing a third in, even in best ball, like I want points. You know, like I don't want maybe Terrace Marshall doing fuck all for me.
Perfect. We got a great way to end it here with Ass Tits and Bijan, and then this. What's up, boys? Rhett says, sent away Geno Smith and Marlon Mack.
What?
23 second and 24 second. He has no business trading away picks because his team is about to implode.
And we would have told you his team is about to implode just by reading this fucking trade. Yeah. Dear God.
People who run good dynasty trades don't make these kind of deals. Just gonna say.
Bro, it's so funny though because man, like I love some of these leagues when you know, the Drew Lock trade happens and then, you know, what was it, 2 months later or whatever it was, Geno Smith is taking first team reps, and then like all of a sudden in league chat you get like the notification. The person that has Geno Smith puts like the notification, like he puts like the stat or whatever it is, some kind of screen capture, and then on the block it's like, oh boy, go get him.
No,
Geno Smith, bruh, second. Holy fuck!
Wow. So what you got for the thumbnail? Me going like this?
There it is. There it is. We got it right before we got out of here. And Mike, this is a perfect example of the Bob Ross, right? When this guy's team actually does fully implode, you're going to need to be the most creative person you've ever seen to make this fucking rebuild happen. That is going to be horrific. Trading picks out that far and your team sucks? Holy fuck.
You need to question it. I don't know if there's an answer to marry ass and buy titties or marry titties and buy ass. I don't know if there's a good answer.
I think the answer is you're going to pay for it one way or the other.
Yes, sir. You probably are. The whole chat was relying on this fucking Tyler. Such a...
Uh-oh. Tyler goes, uh-oh. I think I might have some more crazy questions.
I'll give you a quick one, then we'll bounce out of here. Promise. I say it all the time. But Jets and Jags.
It's gonna be like an hour and a half
to
up
exceed
there.
Expectations. Any other sleeper teams y'all can think of to target? Sleeper teams.
Well, if you ask Matt Kelly, it was a horrible idea to have that many Jags on his team. Remember, he did that bit too. He told him he got. Come on, man. I'm trying to think here realistically. Sleeper teams.
Texans. I like the way Davis Mills and Brandon Cooks hooked up to the end of the year. Now.
Okay, but I would say, is there anyone else that you really want to target though?
Nico Collins, I'm getting a little bit more interested in as we get closer.
Okay.
Just out of necessity.
Okay. Because the only other one that really is being drafted out inside the top 12 rounds or 13 rounds is Dameon Pierce.
Is it a sleeper team to consider the Lions still?
I think no. I was going to say the Lions, and then I was like, nah, I can't do that because, no, Mike, they can't be. Swift, Hawk, J-Mo, Chark, and even Goff, all are going in the top 12 rounds, 14 rounds, whatever Chark's going in, you know? Like, I just don't think that's a sleeper fantasy team anymore.
Washington.
No. Washington's a good one.
Washington is a great one.
That's a great one because, yes, Gibson, McLaurin, Dotson, all guys that we're buying.
Wentz even.
True. On best ball especially. All those guys are bies because of their value and their cost.
I'd say Washington. No, Washington would be my answer.
That's
just because I've also heard the narrative, I don't want multiple pieces of the Washington offense. I'm like, that motherfucker might be good.
Mike, what? That narrative started when Jahan Dotson got drafted, and it basically applies to that whole team now.
I like it. Everybody just
those four pieces especially. I'd say the three, Carson Wentz in best ball, I'd throw in as the fourth, but McLaurin, Gibson, and Dotson for sure, man. I have a lot of exposure, and I'm very, very bullish on all three of them.
I like it, man. That's going to do it for us. We'll bounce out of here. Hey, if you could do us a favor, man, you watch any of our YouTube videos, you like what we do, man, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe's huge
Please.
for us. Subscribe
Yes,
is
please subscribe.
absolutely huge for us. You can turn the notifications off if you want. If you don't want to be notified, that's
Yeah.
fine. Just
If you don't want to
help us out
hear,
a
if
little
you don't
bit.
want to hear us yell at you or have our notifications, don't
turn
you
the
know,
bitches off if
turn
you
the bitches off. But I'll keep bringing the dope thumbnails. Michael, keep making the crazy faces. Just hit us a subscribe. You know, come on,
That's all we ask.
give us a little love.
Oh, we appreciate you guys tapping in. It's so good here. We got up to, there was like 27, 28 at one point watching live. That's fucking incredible.
That was our high. What up, Kevin? And
We got the
Oh,
one person
don't.
on Twitch holding down the fort.
Jeremy, I love it. I mean, this is too much, but yeah, I get your overall sentiment on Dotson.
And don't tell Matty Q that. He likes Dotson over Terry. All right?
We're out of here.
We're out of
I
here.
love Matt too.